Hey friends, welcome back. If you are not yet familiar with me, I'm AB, short for ABSD, they them pronouns. And I was feeling called today to do a reading. And as I was sitting with it of like, why? It reminded me of when I was sitting outside this morning and I was grounding into the earth and I saw the coolest fucking dragonfly. Let's clear the space a bit before I further get into it. This dragonfly was so unique. It was not one I've ever seen before. A lot of the ones I've seen in and around my yard recently are blue, purplish, iridescent. And this one had its tail and body was like thick and white and with like a hint of purple. And then the wings were block colored of the iridescent dragonfly wing and black. And then the iridescent. And I was just feeling into this message around like the polarities and the light and dark and the universal truths. And I have this really cool book called Animal Power. It is so gorgeous. And so I looked up Dragonfly to get a little bit more information to then base this reading off of. And Dragonfly is associated with adaptability, mysticism and magic, water, ease, grace, and truth. When you want to work with me, when you want more ease and grace in your life, when you're ready for a swift change and don't want to resist it, when you want to break free of old patterns holding you back, when you want to shift past an old mentality or way of thinking, when you're ready to release suffering and activate more lightheartedness into your life. Call upon me to see truth in a situation. And so this reading is going to be about that truth. It's going to be about what patterns are holding you back, what shifts are wanting to be made, what support you can ask for in that, which this is very much speaking to my life as well, of this calling in lightheartedness. And I keep receiving the lighten up card, which I'm grateful for. And it makes me just a little bit like, because Spirit's like, AB, just have a little bit more fun. Just like, remember you're alive and you're human and like fun is part of the process and like have some fun. Okay. Lighten up. So, we're going to really focus on the truth. So I'm calling upon energy and guidance, upon the truth that wants to come through in the situation that you're facing in your life right now. So take a moment and pick a situation that you're feeling into, thinking about, that is why you were called to this reading, assumingly so. And hold that situation through this reading. Allow it to be the lens in which you receive this information. All right, Spirit, what is some truth around this situation? The adaptability and ease and grace that wants to come through, the breaking free of old patterns that are holding you back. What wants to come through at this time around this energy? Okay. Yeah, these were a lot of cards. Okay, let's start with these two. So nourish the shadow and let go and bury came out together. So when I think and see of these cards, especially when we're talking about like old patterns, breaking old patterns, there's a nourishment around that needs to happen for it to be let go and buried. I've been doing this process in my mind. It really just started last night of a worry comes up around the situation that I'm holding, the truth that I'm holding. And I, in my mind, will walk my mind through that worry. It's like, okay, well, what's that worry rooted in? All right, worry, I hear you. And like, what is the worst that could happen there? What is the truth actually behind that? What is it rooted in? Is it rooted in truth or is it rooted in an old narrative? And so I'm nourishing that shadow. I'm nourishing the limiting belief to give it what it needs so that I then can let go and bury it. Because if the worry thought does not get what it needs to release, then it's just coming back in another pattern. It's just going to re-arise. It's still your truth. And so you have to tell that worry that it's actually not true. You have to tell your brain that the worry that it's giving you is actually rooted in a lie and not rooted in truth, so that then it can be let go of, and buried. That's really cool. And the next two cards that came out after that was this focus on the bigger picture and victory, which these are some two very, very powerful birds here. And this like bird's eye view of zooming out, so that you are like, what I like to do in my life is I like to zoom out and then zoom back in. So it gives me perspective. And like, especially with the binoculars, of being able to see far away, but then also coming back to the present reality and now. And so there's this, especially with like calling in new truths, of oftentimes when you're manifesting something, that truth exists in the quantum. It is real. It exists here. It's like, you feel it, you can almost like texture touch it, but it's not yet in the reality. And these binoculars of this victory, like you can see it on the horizon. It's like the bird is flying towards you and you can see that it's carrying the gift, but it's not yet arrived. And like, what your job is right now is to focus not on the right here of this micro moment, but the grander macro moment of the bigger picture. What is the bigger dream and desire that is in your heart that you are being called to right now? What is a step that you can take to that today that is going to align you to that is going to continue to shine light on it, that is going to continue to remind you that it is within your own vision, within this victory, because it's happening. It's happening. It's happening. It's happening. And then quantum jump and self-worth, love, value, and respect came out together, which, what a great combo. Wow. I love the quantum jump card, and being in a quantum jump can be very disorienting. It also can be really exciting. It's a both and, right? Like, quantum jumping comes with a lot of different feelings inside and sensations inside of the body. And what happens in this is oftentimes like when you think of a grasshopper that is jumping, you are in the air and there is literally no ground underneath you. You're just in the jump. You're in this like liminal space where you've taken off from where you started and you are landing in an unknown spot, and you are just trusting that you're jumping you're just jumping. You know, it's in your DNA to jump. It is in your DNA to know that you are moving in this direction, but you don't know where you're going to land yet. And in that liminal space, which I can speak to for myself, is very much of where I am right now. I can feel that I'm in the quantum jump. I can feel that I am jumping, but the unsettledness that can come with that can be really disorienting. And the way to combat that is by doing the self-work, like going in to and like pouring in self-worth to yourself. The concept of the pig here I love, because this gold coin energy, pig carries so much polarity, because in some we look at pig as wealth and we associate it with piggy banks and money, and in others we see it as like, oh, you're a pig, you are disgusting and dirty or fat, and all of these different like associations with this one creature. And so you get to choose, you get to decide. And for me, I really see this worthiness in pig, this gift of pig, right? Like, we used to give pigs as like presents, dowries if you must, of like, look how fat my pig is and you shall accept my child as worthy, which, like, how outdated is that? But that concept of like this worthiness inside of us that is attached to this one creature, it's wild. One thing that I've learned from Cara Elizabeth, I've learned lots of things from her, but is this concept that our very blood cells look like gold coins inside of our body. And so we can visualize the worthiness inside of our body through visualizing in our blood cells. And so as you are in this jump, as you're in this liminal space, as you're kind of feeling wobbly, remember to continue to go back to your worth, go back to loving yourself, go back to valuing yourself and respect you as you're navigating the wobbliness of this space. Because like as Dragonfly reminds us to be adaptable and to like live into that mysticism and magic that comes when we're in the liminal, that comes when we're trusting the unknown, that comes when we can jump and leap and not know where we're landing, but know that like that switch in timelines is so worthwhile. It's really cool. And I honestly encourage you to start looking for evidence that the timeline has shifted. This was one of my favorite things to play with when I first started quantum jumping. And really, it's small shifts that can happen around you that are evidence that the timeline has changed. So when I came back from a trip this past spring, I landed back in town, and there was so much evidence around town. Like, I went to the community garden that I garden at, and the locks had changed on the garden, which, small thing, but evidence. There were new signs up around town, evidence. What's something that happened recently? Oh, I felt actively the timeline changing the other day, and I felt it so much that like I knew I needed to clean. I knew I needed to move things around in my house to like shift into this new space. And once that happened, I then was at a meeting that night, and my bike got soaked from the sprinkler system. That when I put my bag in it, then my bag got soaked, and every single thing in my bag had to be taken out and dried, which then prompted me that same day as I was cleaning, I saw that I had a different bag that was the same bag in a different color. And so small shift, but different timeline. It's like these, one example that was given from the person that I learned this from was she could tell she was in a new timeline because the neighbor's car had changed colors, just colors. And there are these small shifts that are evidence. So pay attention to that. And like the logical mind might try to convince you that it's not real. The logical mind is logical, and this isn't. And playing with like the multiple dimensions and realities, like playing with the multidimensional creature that you are, is not logical. So don't ask your logical mind. Ask your feeling mind. Ask your trust mind. Ask your spiritual mind that knows and can feel into all of this evidence. All right, Spirit, what else do we need to hear around the truth of this situation? Of course, that's so great. I kept flipping, but the abundance portal came out. I love this card. Yeah, like you are this truth, this pattern breaking, this choosing to continue to give yourself grace and ease and like be adaptable, being in this quantum jump, loving yourself, respecting yourself, all of these things. Like the victory that you're calling in is all leading towards an abundant self, an abundant life, an abundant portal. Like you're currently in the abundance portal, but do you notice it? Are you taking time to be grateful for it? Are you just focusing on what you don't have, or are you also focusing on what you already have called in? Because abundance grows where abundance flows, and being able to be grateful, that attitude of gratitude really does make a difference. And yeah, it's potent. I was watching a reading last night with Cara Elizabeth, who's the author of this deck, and one of the tools and movements that she has taught me is going into the abundance portal. And so you make a little V with your hands here like this, which I know is associated with one of the Star Treks or Star Wars. I don't know, so don't quote me. It's not really quotable. And you take your hand V and you put it up into a V, with your body. And so you're making this abundance portal that is being imaged here, right? And visualizing yourself as this rainbow spiral, as like energy is flowing in and out of you, of you're calling in diamonds and emeralds and rainbows and light and glitter, and all of this energy is coming to you into this portal, and breathing into it and allowing that energy to flow through you and with you. And truly, like, thank you, Dragonfly, because that is so magical and so mystical. And like being able to be in that truth. So whatever situation you're holding right now, be affirmed that it is bringing abundance. But what does abundance mean to you? And I think that's another question that our Western world really makes us sit with, of like, is abundance for you just attached to money? Is abundance to you noticed in the abundance of how many leaves are on a tree, or how much love you have in your life? Especially with wealth too, when we think about that, like, wealth is not just money. Wealth is resources. Wealth is love. Wealth is friendship. Wealth is opportunity. Wealth is truly attached to everything. And like, I really had this switch happen in my life when I was in Sedona last year, and I was standing on this hiking trail overlooking this just absolutely incredible landscape. And I'm like, this is wealth. Look at the magic. Look at the beauty. Look at all of this mother abundance that we get to tap into and live with each and every day. What a gift that is, that as humans have the ability to get to experience all of life's wonders in that. So the next spread that came out, which is so good. Oh. So I'll talk through each one of these. So we're calling upon the truth of this situation. Like, this situation that you're talking about is attached to your destiny path. It is Omnia Unis Est. I now have that tattooed on my arm here from this card. And my little trust bee. Bee is a sign of destiny path. And there's Omnia Unis Est means all is one. And we are, all is one. So I am you, you are me, all is one. I am earth, earth is me, all is one. I am dragonfly, dragonfly is me, all is one. And like, this truth that you're calling upon, wanting more clarity on, is a part of your destiny path. So what actions can you take right now that are inspired by this destiny? What actions can you take that will lead to success? Because every actionable step that you take is leading to success. It's leading to something, whether or not that manifests tomorrow or in 3 years. That action is beginning you in a direction towards this destiny path that you are on, that you're calling in. And what, like, same with this abundance that is happening, like, it's better than you can even imagine. It is calling in, and look, there's Dragonfly, of this ease. It gets to be easy. It gets to be easy. It gets to be graceful, and you get to live in your truth. And your truth is your destiny. Whatever truth lives inside of you is the destiny that you have to offer this planet. And so awaken to that. Live in the abundance of that. Allow actions to bring in the success of that. What a gift. What a gift that is. Okay. This deck feels pretty expired. Let me see. Spirit, is there anything else that wants to come from this deck before I go? I feel like, yeah, and this one. Okay. Cool. With this truth, with this situation, like, simply trust. This sprout that is happening right now, this bloom, this growth that is coming through you, is asking you to trust it. It's asking you to trust the truth. Trust the truth. And same with like the actions leading to success card. Those actions help you grow. They help you glow as well. Grow and glow. because you're tapping into your light attached to your destiny path. And when you do that, you attract things through your light. You attract things through your glow. You attract things that are aligned with your frequency and your energy, especially as you're quantum jumping. Taking actions that are aligned with this new frequency will help you stay in that frequency. Because what happens when we jump, if you're not familiar with this work yet, is that you are in an energetic place. And when you quantum jump, you're jumping from that energetic frequency and you're jumping into a new energetic frequency. And in order to stay at this energetic frequency, you have to practice this muscle enough times in a row where you stay here. And in order to do that, you have to take action that aligns with this new energetic self. And then it becomes your new norm, right? And so like infinite dimensions when you keep quantum jumping, which is part of the really, really fun part of knowing that every time you quantum jump, it doubles from the last time. So say this is 1 and it doubles to 2, and then it doubles to 4, and then it doubles to 8, and then it doubles to 16. And like all of this energetic frequency that you are raising your own vibration in glows new light and attracts new things through that glow. And like, my friend, you are a master manifester. You are a powerful, powerful being. Allow yourself to trust that. Allow yourself to trust the truth, the truth that lives inside of you, because these truths would not be placed inside of you if it was not from the divine source, God, whatever you want to call it. This great universal knowing, these truths are placed inside of you because they're your unique gifts to offer. And so trusting the manifestation, trusting that what you're calling upon is for you and also for the greatest good of all beings, and that it's manifesting. That is the truth of the situation. It is manifesting. Trust and take action. In the meantime, like, there's nothing else you need to do besides trust it, besides continue to take action like you're doing and know that it's happening. Believe it and know it, that it is yours. Okay. Thank you, Spirit. That's awesome. So awesome. Okay. What wants to come from this deck? Continuing to talk about our truth. What wants to be activated? Release some suffering. Bring more lightheartedness into life. Rewilding, one might say, like, you are the earth and the earth is you. So how can you have more fun? How can you bring in more life and light into your life? Honestly, like, this idea of activating your life and a light and attracting through your light happens when you're in your joy and in your pleasure and in your play. And so be playful, have fun, laugh, enjoy. Like, your light, your life wants to be experienced through you. So allow it and enjoy it along the way. Okay. Yeah. Interesting. Okay. So the first card that came out of this deck is health. And the line on it is be well. And I really like, I think this card is talking about a couple of things. I mean, truly it's talking about like the actual physical things in life that are like, pay attention to the things you're putting into your awareness. But that also is like what you're eating, what you're consuming, how you're consuming those things. Are you spending time outside? Are you being part of the earth? Are you being mindful of what you are allowing in and out of your system? Because like this idea of just laying on the earth and bathing, forest bathing, like, go and be in nature. Go and ask for clarity in nature if you can. When you are doing that, when you are focusing on that, when you're in nature, when you are asking for clarity, being open, being receptive to what wants to come in, because this clarity is asking of you to invite in the growth, being open to the growth. And I think sometimes that can get sticky, and like we want to hold on with all of our talons because it's like it has to be this way, and it doesn't. And so being open to the invitation of growth that is coming in so that it can flow the way that it wants to, so you're not suffocating the gift, suffocating that abundance that we had talked about earlier in this reading. Because this is your life, it's no one else's. And so like cut the ties from the hands that are trying to control you, because you are free. And every time that you show up to your destiny path, every time you show up to your truth and the truth in this situation that you're holding right now, it is freeing you further and further from the matrix. It is freeing you further and further from this extractive empire that is trying to control you. But you are uncontrollable, my friend. You are uncontrollable. You get to control and pick the choices that you do. There's so much out of our control in this life. There's so much out of our control in this life. But what we do have control over is how we respond, how we react, and how we take action, and how we love, really. And you get to choose that. You get to choose that. And every time that you choose to be in love over fear, every time you choose to shift back when you're from the fear and worry mind, when you're nourishing that shadow into your truth, you are freeing yourself further and further from the programming. And this work builds resilience. And my friend, you are resilient. You already are. You have all of the tools that you need. So don't let anything stop you from living your destiny path, from trusting your truth, from being on the path of adaptability and ease and grace. Like this truth in the situation that you are yearning for, know that you already have the tools. You already have the tools. You are resilient. And as long as you keep taking action, as long as you keep showing up to it, it is going to manifest. It is going to manifest. It will. It will. It will. Okay. Spirit, is there more from this reading? Yeah. Okay. I feel like this is the ending card. And it's wish, to yearn with purpose, which I love this because it also, to me, really speaks to this concept of like, go and be in nature, ask for clarity, yearn for what the truth you want to see upon this situation, the patterns that you want to see break in this situation, the freedom that you're wanting to call in, like being receptive to the growth and to the openness that's happening and the resilience that you're building, and like yearn with purpose, wish with purpose, ask with purpose, because the universal source, creation, all is one, right? Like this asking, this healing, this yearning, when we do that with clarity, when we ask for specifically what we want and need, and like you can be as deep and detailed as you want or not. That is your choice. But be clear on what you're asking for, because what you think you are, you become. What words you use, what thoughts you use, call that into your reality. And so be mindful of that. Be mindful of that. Okay. I said that was the last card, and now I'm having this nudge of like, there's another. Okay. All right, Spirit. Give me the last card. Yeah. I feel like it's you. Okay. Yeah. I was just reading this power practice from Dragonfly, and Dragonfly is one of the most colorful species on the planet, and it can bring vibrant energy to your life. connect with the elements of air and water. And listen to this, of course, make time to go outside and find a place you can sit quietly. Feel the air on your skin and notice the quality of temperature of the wind. Receive its energy and messages. Give thanks for the substance that gives us life. Which, reading that, one affirms all that this reading was just talking about. And like, thank you, Dragonfly Medicine, for calling to me to be the grounding root of this reading. But I truly, to end with this empowerment, that was the ending card. Be empowered by your yearning. Be empowered by the wishes. Be empowered by the work that you're doing. By showing up each and every day, by choosing this path, by choosing to be in the liminal, by choosing to be in the unsettled, so that you know that you're landing in more truth and more growth and more expansion and more manifestations and magic, because that's being adaptable. That's playing back with life. Life is like flirting with you. Flirt back. And this talks about growth begins when victimhood ends. And so the invitation here, especially as you're going and sitting outside, is like, let those limiting beliefs come up, hear them. And when there's a victim story in it, ask it what it needs to feel safe. Go through the process of navigating down the worry trail, so that then, like, what else are you worried about, thought? What else are you worried about? Until you can ask that thought and there's no more worry. Be empowered by all that you've done to get to this point. Be empowered by your truth, and be empowered by this situation that you're calling upon and the patterns you're breaking to bring in this situation, because it's a powerful one. And there's so much abundance, there's so much light, and there's so much being manifested around it. Be in that abundance portal, trust that abundance portal, and know that you are worthy of it. Remember that self-worth, love, respect card that came out. Focus on that too. You are worthy of all of it. So receive, be blessed, and receive. You are a wellspring of power and light. Okay, friend. Thank you for joining this reading today. This was very fun for me. I hope you gained something out of it, and you have a little bit of homework to go out and spend some time with nature. Pay attention to the creatures that you see and just notice the abundance that's around you, and say thank you. Life loves to be in reciprocity, and so if a little flirt or nudge comes, say thank you as a return. If you're not yet familiar with me and my work, join us at abetterstandarddirection.com to join the movement, to check out any of my guided meditations or my program Catalyst, or even just to work with me one-on-one. I would love to have you if any of that work calls to you and me and my energy flows and grows. I am getting the nudge to do a little bit of just like a short channeled light language here. If you are consenting and want to receive those codes, go ahead and stay. If not, now's your time to click off. All right. Hu asarahana han mohona hane hadegera ko ro mahasadakia hana duko yosh esakayana hino na hash emakayana kada hadakada naki esekeda hash Eseko no hon sehena amahon hosaka dakriana ki no ko makasakariana karaya karaya esakaria no. Cool. Thank you for joining me. I love you. Till next time. I'll see you around. Have a beautiful day, light creature. I'm so grateful to be connected with your energy. I love you. Bye.